Hi, my name is Anitque. I'm the owner of Village Antiques. We're about a 10,000 square foot antiques and home decor shop here in Houston, Texas, and we specialize in French and European antique stores here. So our store is made up of about 30 to 35 different vendors, including myself. Many of us travel to France, Europe, and different fairs throughout the United States and bring back antiques here in Houston and mix it in with modern day home decor. So it's a real mix of personalities, styles, types, price points. We kind of joke we're like the Target all the way to the Nordstrom of the antiques and home decor market. I'm probably the youngest antique store owner in Houston, Texas, maybe even the United States. So there's definitely a lot of conflict when it comes to ideas from my generation and dealing with people who are in their 50s, 60s, 70s, and even 80s. So my husband and I started the business together, but really it's not a 50-50. My husband has extensive background in business and business management and working with employees and building teams. So he has taken a little bit of a backseat to me running this business, but has provided a lot of insight on how to grow and where to spend revenue and where to cut back and what to look for in an employee and what kind of employee is not a good fit in bringing the team down, and kind of my sounding board on a lot of ideas. And we both will have ideas that are amazing and ideas that are a total fail, but it's nice to have him in my life in this aspect because it's just like when you're always creatively going back and forth with. So, and days like today where we have a crazy event, he's always a backup cashier. So we've got a really great group here. We've got Minnie. Minnie's our lead salesperson, and I kind of describe her as our store mom. I mean, she's awesome. She's been doing sales probably longer than all of the other employees combined into one person on her little pinky finger. She really gets people. She's a people person, and we just really respect her opinion, personality, and sense of humor.
During, I believe it was Halloween, which was really an exciting time here. We were having a big sale, and there was a lady that was coming into the store. She was dressed in all black tulle, and she had on a witch's hat, and she came in and she walked through the store, and my first thing I wanted to ask her, have you been to a Halloween party? But I chose not to ask that, so I just let her walk through the store and help her like she was a normal customer, and it was kind of funny.
When my daughter is coming, she would fall in love with this.
Well, I hope she does, because it needs a good home.
Yeah.
So when she comes, bring her by.
Yeah, and I like this.
It's
so
beautiful.
Pretty.
It is absolutely beautiful.
Very nice.
So Walter doesn't really have a job title. He just does everything, anything that's needed, whatever needs to be done, whatever I do, whatever any other team member does. He's a little bit on the younger side, so it comes with some of his, I don't know how you say, interests that I guess young people like ladies, going out, being naughty. I don't know if he loves women or customers or what it is, but he just really clicks with them and relates to them, and just people really love working with him.
And I do everything here, so I don't really have like a position where I can say that I have a position. So I do everything from maintenance to sales to moving. So I basically do everything here.
Okay.
So I'm jack of all trades.
And we've got Rishika. You may never see her on camera. She's super shy. She loves to be holed up in her computer. Her personality comes to life on social media when she's on Facebook or Twitter or Pinterest, and she's really expressive in that aspect, but she's very behind the scenes, super quiet, and just loves to have her nose right into her keyboard. Yeah. Neil's role in the company is kind of he's on the board of directors. We call him as we need him. There are some events that we have where the customers just flood in and the demand is so great we can barely keep up with it. So on those days, Neil will come in and work the cash register. He really shines on the operational side. If we're not talking about it at lunch or dinner, I mean, it's during the evenings, we're always trying to figure out how can we make this a better store, and we don't want to be just a local antique shop. We want to really be a national shop that people can go online or go on our Facebook page and find things that they could incorporate that one-of-a-kind look in their home. And Neil really helps me think on that scale. I mean, he helps what needs to be done when work needs to be done, but really that's focusing on a bigger picture and business development, that's what my husband helps me do for this shop.
One of the things that is interesting having your wife as a partner is that you get to, the good and the bad is you get to talk about all the operations both during the day and at nighttime, and you get to make suggestions and problem solve the problems that come up in the store at night as well. Of course, the downside is that your work never leaves you, and so sometimes we have to try to forcibly stop thinking about work all the time, especially when at home.
So that's probably been my biggest challenge, is having small children and running a business. And this kind of a business it's not something you can just kind of outsource or delegate. You really have to be here. And that's been a big struggle, personal conflict, where I have to figure out how to be there with my children and be there for my shop, my team, and my customers. And probably one of the hardest parts of working in this job is dealing with so many different vendors. They can be the highlight and the low light of any day. You're just constantly trying to understand each other, and some people don't consider other people's points of views, and everybody's kind of in their own bubble, and it takes a lot of humility and a lot of cooling down and just thinking things through all sides. Had a lot of struggles. We've had people who don't like me because of my age, and anything I say just doesn't resonate on their level because there's so many things that change every generation. And we have other people who are in older generations that love everything that we do. I've had people who've been here in my store who've tried to steal my dealers to go open their own store, only to be faced with many more challenges than I've been faced with. So I've experienced a lot of good and bad working with a big group of people, and I think it's not just specific to my industry. Anytime you're dealing with a big group of people, you're going to be faced with those challenges, but they're definitely challenges, and we swear, we pray, we cry, we laugh, but luckily we have a really good team that kind of supports each other and tries to always look at both sides of every story. So one of the challenges that we face in bringing inventory in from Europe is it's really costly, and that's why there's not as many shops that do what we do. For instance, if you want to buy a piece, it might cost you, let's say, 1,000 or 1,500 euros, and generally when you convert, you have to convert, it might be 1.5 the conversion. Like the dollar might be $1.34 for the exchange rate, but by the time you include your bank fees, your wire foreign transaction fees, you're looking at probably about $1.45, $1.50 for every €1 that you spend. And so the costs get really high really fast when you start looking at hotel, airfare, $1,500 for a ticket, and then your cost of food, because again, you're converting everything into euros, or dollars from euros and back and forth. And then the cost of your container also could be anywhere from $10,000 to $20,000 depending on what size container you bring in and your port fees and things like that. So really the whole undertaking is really costly, and those costs are what is reflected in the price of antiques. Definitely there's pricing built into the age and the history behind the piece, the provenance of the piece, but the costs alone to bring to the United States are very expensive. So the difference between antiques and junk. Well, I would say one thing is value is always in the eye of the beholder. I think this shop would be a great viewing experience for people to watch on many different levels.
We need 6.
Is there?
We need 6. Because we've been using 6.
There are 6.
No, I don't think we need, because we have a bench, one side.
I understand, but just like yesterday, or the day before, we used 6 chairs.
Let me know if you decide you want those, okay? Okay. No.
One thing that we have to offer is a growth of a new company, and not a really good economy. It's not a bad economy, but 2 years ago when we started, it wasn't a good economy. So I think it's a good story of how you can, put the hard work into it and see results and hopefully try to build something that you believe in. We hope it will keep growing, but I think for that reason, it's a really good tale of, what we try, the challenges that we face with, marketing and staff and being a boss and being an employee, things like that. So I think a lot of people would relate on that level. There's definitely a lot of drama when you mix in a group of 35 to 40 personalities, and I personally don't like too much drama. I try to resolve a lot of things, but even just asking 40 people for an opinion, you're just going to get all different kinds of opinions, and it's a lot of food for thought. When we go out for dinner, my husband and I talk about it all the time, and he's like, your company is just so fascinating, and there's so many weird people there, and so many different points of view. So there's a lot of dialogue that goes back and forth just from interacting with so many people on this level. I mean, all of these businesses that are here under my businesses are micro shops, micro businesses that create this big macro store, and so you have a lot of sensitivities and emotional ties to the inventory, the vendor, and things like that. And then just the innovation. I think we're trying to be a really innovative group of people. This year we're rolling out 2 new aspects of our company that are brand new, and again, we'll be faced with challenges and how to overcome them and how to grow our company, and a kind of behind the scenes look of how we're going to do it. So I think from the personal point of view, from a human point of view, from the point of view of looking at a group of people interacting and the conflicts that arise from benefiting their business or benefiting our business, and watching the ideas of innovation, kind of the struggles, and will we reach our challenges, can we reach our challenges, I think would be a very fascinating show for people to see.
Yes, and in the meantime, enjoy the children.
Oh, we will.
Okay.
We're gonna enjoy the children and the show.
Have fun with
Good.
the movie.
Oh, thank you. I hope it's good.
What
It's gotta
movie
be-
is it?
But don't go see Wolf on Wall Street.
Is that good?
It's all sex and drugs. It's horrible. It's 3 hours long. The first half of the movie is great. But after that, it becomes nothing but everybody's doing cocaine and preludes, and we'll be dead.
It'll be like Village Antique, sex and prelude.
And it's all.